approach to design by creating pieces of vision-impaired for vision-impaired individuals, and we'll unpack that a little later. It's such an innovative idea, and when you hear it, you think, oh my gosh, why didn't this exist before?
Exactly, and it's the first of its kind in the world. We'll be sharing those details with you on the show today. And on the line of beauty, today we also revive our Dr. Anushka Medisculpt series by looking at a treatment called liquid facelifts.
Plus, we feature an incredible organization from Langa in Cape Town. It's called Siyapambili Orphan Village, and they've cared for children who are orphaned due to HIV/AIDS since 2005. And currently, within all activities that they arrange, they provide support and help about 250 people.
Oh, that's incredible. I feel like today should be a Monday with all these motivational guests on this show. Because it's a jam-packed, let's start it off with our first guest today. Fashion designer Celeste Arendse was a finalist in the 2008 New Talent competition. Soon afterwards, she launched her own brand called SELFI, which has taken off in a very big way, and now, almost 10 years later, can be found at her lifestyle concept store in Cape Town. And we're so glad to have her on the couch. Welcome to Afternoon Express.
Thank you.
Yeah, lovely to have you with us.
It's good to be
such
back.
Fans.
Thank you, Bunny.
So let's talk about those beginning phases of starting a fashion career. You know, how did you get to this point?
Well, I mean, I've actually, like, both my parents were in the clothing industry and my mother still is, and like fashion has always kind of been in my life. I was always really drawn to the arts and always wanted to do something within the arts, and I used to sketch a lot, and I think just growing up, the two together just made sense, like having those kind of like conversations that my parents would have, listening to them, and just the, I suppose, love for design and art. And I studied at Cape Technicon. After that, worked for a designer called Malcolm Klook. After that, I kind of ventured in. That was like a great learning phase. Like I really like took all the skills I still have, like still use it today. Because I think working there really taught me about structure. I think with creatives, it's hard to really find structure because you kind of have so many ideas.
Is that Lupita Nyong'o?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yes, it is. That was actually a collection we did inspired by Khoisan. So it's taking like the African figurines and actually putting them on like the surreal Picasso.
So that's your own print that you originally designed.
So
that's
we
incredible.
also design our own prints, and currently I'm using a lot of sustainable fabrics like linen, and that's also, this is from Fashion Week in 2016, yeah.
Right.
Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week.
Talk to us a little bit about your design narrative, and do you have a particular story that you always stick to, that you use as a premise for all your designs?
I think I first look at my customer and really what she kind of needs, and then add layers of color and what I wanted to feel on it. What I wanted to, like, it's kind of, I wanted to wear clothes to work, and it should suit her lifestyle, from picking up the kids, going to a mall, and also she should be able to go to dinner with it. So I first look at the sort of the silhouettes of it, and then add color and the story on afterwards. But the story also comes with it as well, because it's about feeling and emotion. So I look a lot on what's going on in society today, and I look at certain cultural issues. So SELFI really is about self-exploration. It's got a lot of, it's kind of subjective, but also objective. We're talking to different women and people about various issues that we're going through in society, and just as a whole, as a person.
So there is really a narrative in there, and that narrative is women, and it's women empowerment, and it's
I wouldn't necessarily just say women. I think it's really about the self. That's like the core of it, and it's about empowering the self. And I want my clothes to make people feel empowered. And a lot of women will always come to me and say, like, oh my God, like when I wear your stuff, I feel so good. And people always ask me where they got it from. And it's kind of like this weird unspoken language that you feel when you actually design something, and when someone wears it. It's, people always say, you can identify your stuff from a mile away, and I really don't know what that is, but it's the energy you're also putting into your work that speaks. And I think it's a state of mind that goes into it as well. Yeah.
Absolutely.
If it makes sense.
Yeah. So tell us just about the business of actually making a fashion brand lucrative, especially in South Africa, where people think
consumers to spend.
Where consumers are more, have a propensity to think, okay, well, if I'm going to spend this much money on a garment, I might as well get a Gucci.
Exactly. Or Zara.
How do you tackle that?
Not actually Gucci, more like a Zara, because Gucci's prices is like...
Well, I wouldn't even, anyway, let's not throw shade.
Yeah, you know? I think for me it was really like, I knew that I was going to have to be patient, and I also knew that, like, I wasn't going to see millions, like, in, like, 5 years, or, you know, like... Not that I know if I still feel it yet, but, like, I knew that I had to be patient, and I also knew that I had a voice, and it was more about... like allowing that voice to drive you and encourage you, and people, we as South Africans have to take responsibility on how we shape this industry and the creative industry as well. And yeah, I think it was just about being patient and really taking it one year at a time, meeting certain goals, always putting yourself on the right platforms, like doing your fashion weeks, doing your design in Durbas, putting your work out there for the right customer platform, right people to see it, and then from there it really just grows. Like,
so is it a conscious decision of yours because you're like, hey, I really want to invest in the local market, I really want to make sure that we create jobs here, I want to you know, allow people the opportunities to be able to experience and to grow in the field, or was it just a purely, I guess, financial decision? Is there a sense that you want to create jobs and you want to try and invest into the local market?
There definitely is. I think it's definitely a sense of like, I want to be able to empower the people that work with me, and I really want to be able to like give them sort of like skill sets, or like allow them to feel more valuable within the industry. I think a lot of women in the clothing industry, like a lot of them are predominantly women, but they don't really feel valuable or feel like what they're doing is like really something that important. So I think that's also why there should be more local designers, because the people that actually work for them have more of like a closeness to the actual garment and to the actual customer. And it's not like if you work in a huge factory, you're so far removed from the actual final product, you never really see where your work like exists. And I think that is very important to me. It's instilling a sense of value, people feeling more valued in what they do. Like,
Wow, that's incredible. Well, you brought along some pieces for us.
You did that collaboration, right? You did a really cool collaboration.
Yes, I did it with no, this isn't the collab, but I did a collaboration with Rara, and then a lot of my styles are recycled, so all the colors were kind of like, some of the new colors came in, we used a lot of lilac. Rust is a color I've been using a lot. And yeah, so this is like a little wrap jumpsuit that can be worn day and night, and it's made out of cotton, 100% natural fabric, and it's like kind of like, easy. You can wear it with sneakers.
It's comfortable, but it's sexy at the same time.
Exactly.
It's got, it really shows off like figure. It's got a nice shape to it.
And I really like making clothes for women that's on the move, and I love putting pockets in a lot of clothes, because like putting your cell phone and your keys, like, because I think I wear all the clothes I make, so it's like I'm always rushing somewhere, having to be quick. So it's about making clothes that really like fit into your lifestyle.
This is so cool. This is like taking a...
That's like a little jumpsuit, which is really cute and playful and fun. Also got the pocket detail on the front, and it's made out of bull denim. So it's like great for, you can also layer it in winter. You can do a little polo neck underneath, or just for summer.
Well, you know, you've made some really brave choices as well. And it's interesting for me how you've been able to marry functionality and a really brave choice, and then it actually translates so beautifully. What informs your choices when you do feel like you're breaking the mold, or getting a bit more riskier with your choices?
It's a combination of what I feel and what I think people would want. So it's really like, you know, I actually moved a bit away from print as well, which is why I'm doing more kind of natural and sustainable fabrics, because I think I'm also growing as a woman, and I want to be a lot more subtler and not really be that like scene with bright color. So that's why I'm using like a lot more simpler. I think the styles are still the same, but the colors are just more refined, and it's just focusing more on natural fabric that has longevity. And a lot of older women gravitate towards it, because my mom has always been a linen fan, and I was like, the styles are so boring. And that also inspired me to use linen, but to use it in a more kind of fun and like edgy way that, you know, like speaks to a younger crowd.
Yeah, to be honest, I feel like this is not trying so hard. In that it's brilliant, and it's so beautiful. Like the way that you've taken to it, I'm so sold.
I'm sold on all of them. If I can wear it with brogues, I'm sold.
Exactly. And if you can wear it with heel, I know what you mean. Right. And even with sneakers, I could really work with sneakers as well. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Brilliant range. Well done to you. It's good to have you. Honestly, to be able to celebrate this kind of creative talent is such an honor for us on the show, because if this was coming out of our country, I'm buying it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm
Thank you so much. Thanks. So more fashion coming up after the break as we sit down with Balini Naidoo, who creates innovative designer clothing for the visually impaired. While you're on social media, let us know, would you consider yourself a fashion trendsetter or a fashion trend follower? We'll be right back.
because I've actually...
A warm welcome back to Afternoon Express. We're live on SABC3, celebrating all things fashion and design today on the show. And there are many things that we take for granted, including something as basic as our own sight. Fashion designer having a family member who is visually impaired. Her name is Balini, and she obviously got taught by her family member how to make that daily struggle to those who cannot see, obviously make it more accessible when it comes to fashion. Now, this sparked an idea in her mind to create fashion for visually impaired individuals, and she joins us this afternoon to share her very cool story with us on the show today. A first of its kind ever in the world.
Yes.
Tell us about the product.
So basically, I created a Braille identification system. The system tells you the color of the garment, the size, as well as the wash care labels, and my own perspective of style description.
I love it. And it was inspired by somebody quite close to you.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
So basically, in my first year of studying fashion and textile design at DUT, I came up with this concept while doing research. And at that time, I knew that I had an uncle that was visually impaired, and I bounced the idea off of him, and he motivated me in pushing this idea forward.
Yeah. So you had not known how to read Braille or to get involved in the system beforehand. So did you have to go out and find out how the whole Braille system worked?
I had to work closely with the KwaZulu-Natal Blind and Deaf Society, where they were my sample for the visually impaired people at the society. And then I did a crash course on learning how to read Braille. Yeah.
Sure. It's such a fascinating story to hear of somebody who's trying to do this, because this sounds to me like it should have been done years ago.
Yes, yes.
Through your research and writing your theses, etc., what did you discover? Why has this not been done yet?
After doing numerous research, I think there's a lot of other technologies that are out there, like devices that people can buy that would tell them the color of the garment or the size or whatnot. But living in South Africa, our visually impaired people in South Africa cannot afford
the technology.
The technology, and the way technology is so vast today, like I said, people cannot afford it. So I found a gap in creating something that is affordable for visually impaired people in South Africa.
Yeah, because what you'd imagine South Africa, like you go into a store and you're trying to go and find a item of clothing. All you've got, I guess, is your hands to be able to maybe touch and smell the fabric, but to know what color it looks like, how it should be washed, and what it should be worn with. You've taken all of those ideas and kind of tried to make it a lot easier to read. So where are these labels placed on the items of clothing?
I actually did not put it on the inside. I put it on the outside to create awareness and make a statement for visually impaired. So why can't you wear it and create awareness for visually impaired individuals?
Stunning. Should we go take a look at it? Because I really want to come and have a look at what you've created here, because some of the stuff that I've seen, like you said, is on the outside as well. So would you talk me maybe through each different item and how it all works?
So this is a lady's top that I designed and made by myself. And so basically the Braille on here gives you the size of the garment, the color, wash care labels, and styling description.
Okay, so all those notes are on the outside.
Yes.
And it's the same standard language for Braille that people would, the most commonly recognized version of Braille, people would be able to recognize and read through.
Yes.
Stunning. And this is a beautiful little piece, by the way. Well done on that one. And then this one over here is super trendy, super street. I love it.
Yes. So I just pushed my creativity a bit, and I said instead of using circles, why can't you use squares? So I created a statement print, which I think is a new way of communicating for visually impaired people. And this is, if they touch and feel it, it says a message. And this says lost in translation. And I just thought of having something that's more graphical appeal for them, that they can feel and touch. And then I made this jacket reversible. So whichever way they wear it, they don't really have to matter if it's the right way or wrong way.
She'll be able to read this Braille on the same way on the other side?
Yes.
Oh my word, that's so cool. And then the sleeves, I also see the sleeves have got some Braille inside of them.
That's also reversible, and
it also says lost in translation.
Yes.
That is so stunning. Yo, that's great. And then here is obviously our sort of leisure kind of clothing, our athleisure.
Yeah.
Same style.
Same thing, just that obviously the labels are different. That tells you the size, the color of the garment, and as well style description.
So in a world where there are numerous people, particularly in South Africa, but around the world, that are visually impaired and are trying to find ways to incorporate themselves better into society, I'm really intrigued to hear that this hasn't been done before and that you've got to do this first. What does that mean for the future of your career as a designer?
I think it's just pushing myself in other limits, and I live by this quote where it says, "What you do for yourself dies with you, but what you do for others lasts a lifetime." And I feel like with this is something that I'm giving back to community and using my skills to solve a problem in the world and society, and just giving back to community and using my skills. Yeah.
I want every retailer in the country to know about this and to be able to start incorporating this into their products. Is this part of the plan? Is there a plan to start to say to retailers, hey, come consult with me, let's try and get these labels onto your clothing too so that more visually impaired people can buy your clothes?
Yes, sure. I'm looking into that, yeah.
Yo, that's going to be very exciting. What an inspirational guest. I don't know if you're at home or somebody who's involved in the world of fashion and design. And just to come up with innovative ideas like this, to think that we're the first in the world to ever do it, South African women. And I'm very, very proud of you, Balini. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. Yo, it's amazing to celebrate design that has the same kind of impact. Now, coming up after the break on the show, we turn our attention to an incredible organization from Cape Town, also doing as good work and more. It's called Siapambili Village, that has been providing support and shelter to children orphaned by HIV and AIDS for the past 13 years. It's a story not to be missed, so head to your mobile devices right now and we'll see you after this.
source of goodness. Now also available in long life.
Made with love by Clover.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. So Nelson Mandela once said there can be no keener revelation of a society's soul than the way in which it treats its children. And today we look at an organization that embodies this message. Siyaphambili Village was founded in 2005 by social worker Dilega Ngameni to look after children who are orphaned to HIV/AIDS. They also conduct an outreach program for teen mothers, grandmothers raising their own children, and child-headed households, along with counselling. We're joined now by Village's manager, Sibongazi Ngameni. How are you? Welcome to the loft.
Thank you for having me, Bonnie. I'm doing well.
Awesome. I was struggling with my clicks there. I didn't know which one went where for a second
but
there.
You were good.
But I'm forgiven already. Yeah.
Yes, you are.
Well, so your mother was a social worker.
Yes, she
right?
is. Mm-hmm.
And you've trained as a paramedic and worked as a paramedic, and now you run this home.
Yes, I am.
So obviously, just
right now,
helping people and building communities is in your blood. Tell us about how the idea of Siyaphambili Village came about.
All right, then. So, Bonnie, it was actually 2002 when my mother decided she's no longer going to work at Lindgege Hospital. She's going to start her own home. Obviously, everyone was so stressed out because we were like, oh, my God. So it's an additional family members where she actually took in 5 at that time.
Wow.
She took in 5, and since I'm the only girl, I had to share everything because there was about 4 girls and then 1 boy. So I had to share everything, no more privacy.
That's incredible. But obviously something happened to you in that time. I mean, obviously you went from uncomfortability to a place of completely embracing it and actually seeing that this was something that triggered you and something you would want to do. How did that happen?
Yes, so what happened is when I actually asked her, so what's going on, she said, I need you to understand one thing, okay? Just put yourself in those children's shoes. Give yourself 10 years. And it has been more than 10 years. So I just decided this is what I want to do because they were there and I actually knew that I'm sorry about that.
No, it's fine.
The kids being there, obviously, they needed help. So it just came to me to say, Mom, I'm here. I mean, I'm ready to give in my all.
That's incredible. So your particular village or orphanage is very special in that it not only helps the children who immediately come to the home, but it also has an outreach aspect of it.
Yes.
Tell us about some of the outreaches you do and how you empower the community with these tools.
All right. So the outreach programs that we do have is, the first one that I will start with is the child-headed households. There's about 25 that we have. So what we do with the child-headed households, we go to, we do monitoring and visitations, which are Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And we also provide them with counseling, obviously, and the basic needs, such as your basic needs, such as your food, water, uniform, and so forth. And the second program that we do have is the afternoon school care, because we also find out that not only are these kids orphaned, obviously they're disturbed, so they struggle with schoolwork, so we decided, what about starting an afternoon school care? So we did that, where we monitor the kids when they come back from school. So how are you doing in a specific subject? If you're struggling with that, we'll assist you with that.
Yeah. To date, you've helped about 250
kids around Cape Town.
Since 2005.
Since 2005,
right.
yes. And
true to your name, Siyaphambili, you're actually going to start one in Transkei.
Yes, that we have started. My mother actually moved that side in 2014 already.
Oh, really?
And that one is huge, Bonnie. We thought, okay, the need is actually here, but then when I went to the Eastern Cape, I saw that they are really struggling because not only the kids need assistance, but the entire family.
Yeah.
Because you find out when we started the soup, when my mother started the soup kitchen, it was supposed to be for the kids only. But then when you do the cooking in the morning, the entire family comes through.
Wow.
Being the grandparents, the aunts, the uncles, everyone.
Wow. I mean, you're meeting such a huge need and you're impacting thousands of lives for generations to come because you are basically interrupting their destinies.
Yeah.
But what's very important to me to find out is how do people who are running an organization like yours self-care? how do you make sure that you are actually increasing your capacity to actually keep doing this? Because it is hard work.
It is hard work, and I'm glad you actually asked that question. But I'd like to say, Bonnie, the learning doesn't stop. You have to capacitate yourself with trainings. You have to capacitate, especially with child behavior.
Yes.
Because I'm telling you,
it's unpredictable.
It is unpredictable, and today you sleep and the kid's okay, and tomorrow it's something else. So education doesn't stop learning.
Yes,
it doesn't stop.
Yes.
It doesn't stop. It is a continuous thing.
I'm so inspired by what you do, and I'm sure all the viewers are, and anyone out there who wants to get involved or who's watching and is like, I want to donate my time or money or whatever it is, because it takes a village to raise a child. How can viewers get involved?
Viewers can get involved. One thing that I've also noticed is that when people ask you, so how can you get involved? They always think money first. No, it's actually not about money. We need a lot of people's time. Come through to the village once any weekend. Just come through and check it out. You can assist the kids by helping them out with their
homework.
Their homework, exactly, whatever the subject that they're struggling with. Or you can take the kids to the park.
Yes.
Yes, play with the kids, spend time with the kids. And obviously, yes, we do need the money as well.
Yeah, yeah.
That we do also accept, but just give your time. We just need the time.
Yeah, that's absolutely essential. And what are or can you think of one huge success story that just brings tears to your eyes when you think of the impact that it's had?
Okay, now I don't want them to actually think that now I'm favoring, but yes, we've had many success stories. But one that I can think of now is Ulele Usimnikiwe. She was one of the girls that we first took in. It's really, it's so touching. Ulele, she was actually thrown out by an aunt. This is like your mother's sister.
Yeah.
And then we said, no, come through. If you need a place, we are here for you. Ulele, at that time, she was, she had hope. She just said, there's no life after this. If your aunt doesn't want you, how come someone who doesn't even know me? So we took her in, and obviously we tried to make Ulele a very strong woman that she is today, and she came out just fine. Ulele is now, she's graduating actually in April.
Whoa.
Yeah, she did industrial psychology, and she's such a blooming young lady, and we are so proud of her.
That is so incredible.
Yeah.
And also what's so amazing about that is she can now come back and reinvest her skills into the home.
And that's
such a beautiful circle.
That's what, that was actually our goal from the word go, because what happens is they go out there, do their thing, and then they will always come back and give back to the kids. And it's so nice to actually give the kids one of their own. Someone who can stand in front of them and motivate them. To say, I was actually where you're at.
Yeah, representation.
And look at where am I now.
Yeah. Wow, you're doing such a phenomenal job.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to come visit. Maybe read a story or two.
Please do.
Yeah.
Please do.
So if you want more information on Siapambili Village, or you want to know how you can help, then check out our website, afternoonexpress.co.za. And after the break, we relaunch our Dr. Anushka Reddy series. And today we look at something called a liquid facelift. Don't go away.
Next week on Tropica Island of Treasure, Maldives, the new teams are put to the test and are thrown into the deep end as they balance, build and swim with the sharks to try and win the first smooth bounty of the season.
I don't want to drown again.
I need you here because you need to verify if what I'm saying is right. Whatever happens, we have to get it. Cheating, huh? A horrible moment for us.
Don't do that, you're moving it.
Don't miss Tropica Island of Treasure, Maldives next week, Monday at 7:30 on SABC3. The stage is yours.
Anushka Reddy.
Thank you so much for joining us back on Afternoon Express. It's been an inspirational and heartwarming show so far.
Indeed, yeah. So from fashion and feel-good vibes to some aesthetics, you know the aesthetic wonder, Dr. Anushka Reddy, she is back on the show. And today we take a look at the liquid facelift, something I haven't heard of before, but now I know more. It's a facial contouring procedure that involves the use of strategically placed Botox and dermal fillers to create a younger, plumper-looking you. Let's take a look at how this transformation unfolds.
Leading cosmetics doctor Anushka Reddy has recently opened a new state-of-the-art practice where she's welcoming one of her first patients for treatment.
I'm Antoinette. I'm a mother of 2 beautiful children. As a dental nurse, I'm working with a lot of patients, and yeah, I'm working in Rosebank. I'm here to address the darkness under my eyes and just to soften my jawline as well. The results will make me feel so much better about myself as a woman, and it will be giving me more confidence as well in myself.
The patient I'll be seeing today is a 40-something-year-old lady. She's actually had a procedure of this nature before, so all I'm going to be doing today is trying to just prolong the effect of her previous procedure.
I'm seeing Dr. Reddy because I heard about her a lot and I know she can address my problems.
So let me start. Let's look at your eyes now. What is it about your eyes that bothers you?
People is telling me I'm looking tired and even sick. So I'm very dark under my eyes.
Yes, that's a common thing, you know. Eyes are the window to one's soul. So obviously if it has this depressed appearance with dark shadows, it will make you look tired. So I would certainly look at fillers, injecting fillers into that area, and I think it will give you a fresh appearance and get rid of that tired look. In addition, I would always combine fillers in the cheek area. So we need to also contour and lift the cheek because that actually supports the tissue of the eye, and the combination treatment will give us a good result. Coming now down to your jawline, well, tell me more about that.
I'm grinding a lot. I do have a plate that I sleep with at night, and during the day I know I'm clenching. So there's always that pressure on my jaw.
when you have a history of grinding and clenching as you do, you develop these enlarged masseter muscles. Now, these muscles are mainly used for chewing. And as you can see, when they enlarge, they give the feminine face a very square appearance. So my intention is to actually inject the muscle with Botox. And what the Botox does, it relaxes the muscle, it reduces the tension in the muscle. And how you will benefit from this is that the clenching and the tension that you have in these muscles will be completely reduced. So I think let's get started. Let's get your makeup off and then we're good to go. It is very important to always address a patient's concerns and always take what they feel is important to them into consideration. Naturally, I will have my own impression of what needs to be done for her. But I mean, if people are commenting that she's looking tired and she's looking sick, what's very important for me in this particular procedure is to actually get rid of that negative feeling that she's experiencing and create these positive vectors in her face. The products I will be using today, especially around the eye, it's an FDA-approved product. It contains hyaluronic acid. In addition, when we treat the eye area, we must not forget to treat the cheeks. So I would also use a product not to create apple cheeks or to inflate the cheeks, but rather to contour the cheeks. And the product is called Radiesse. It's a product that's used mainly by experienced and advanced injectors, and that's going to give her these really nice Naomi Campbell cheekbones. In addition, I will be using Botox. We've been using it for a very long time, but in this instance, I will inject it into her masseter muscle, and that will actually relax that muscle.
This treatment will make me feel so much better about myself as a woman, and it's going to give me more confidence in myself as well.
I think what was a nice sort of add-on were the lips and the nose. So while she was on the bed, I noticed that there was dissymmetry in her profile. So what I simply did on her nose was I increased the nasal bridge to camouflage the little bump on her nose, and I increased the volume of her lips very gently though, because we don't want that very infamous trout pout. And I think that natural look is what she was after, and I think she's going to be very pleased with the result.
Recovery time from injectable treatments vary from each patient, and Dr. Reddy has asked to see Antoinette after 2 weeks again to examine her results.
It has been 10 days from my first consultation. I'm still a little bit bruised under my eyes, but otherwise there's no bruising.
I am very pleased with Antoinette's results. As expected, I knew there would be some degree of bruising, but it has resolved significantly. The addition of arnica to the post-treatment protocol has helped with this. In addition, I see that there's beautiful slimming down of her face. And I think for me, the best part was her nose and her lips. Hiding that bump on her nose, which she thought was not possible non-surgically, we've actually managed to achieve. And also restoring the lip contours. So we've given her some degree of volume in her lips without anyone actually knowing that she's had any treatment done. So I'm very pleased with the outcome of the treatment.
My experience was actually very good. There was actually no downtime, and the next day I was already back at work. It was a very positive experience to go through. I am very happy with my results. People is telling me already I don't look so tired anymore, and even I'm beautiful.
It's so good to know, like you and I both have the same issue with trying to reduce bags under our eyes and things. I think it's just a genetic part of who you are. So to be able to have something like that available to you to, you know, I guess give you that confidence back is awesome. So well done, Anushka. She did a good job.
I mean, there's quite a significant difference, right?
Check that jawline difference. She used to have quite a square jaw over the side. That's kind of elongated her face a bit now.
Absolutely, and softened it. I'm always fascinated to see what's actually available out there and what can be done with cosmetic surgery. So yeah.
Confidence starts on the inside.
A liquid facelift. Yeah, so get you a liquid facelift.
Let's get us a word lift.
A word lift. So if you wish to address concerns like lines, wrinkles, volume loss and sagging, then book your appointment today. Also make sure to follow Dr. Anushka Reddy on Instagram for the latest updates in aesthetics treatments. Clover Crush is proud to be spreading the goodness above and beyond its great tasting fruit juice. They wanted to show that a little goodness can go a long way. One of South Africa's most acclaimed musical artists, Lyra, is a member of the Crush Goodness crew. She joined the crew helping to spread the goodness to get new school shoes to deserving learners across the country.
There is power in proverbially walking in someone else's shoes to understand their challenges. It's in this spirit that Clover Crush is giving new school shoes to 10,000 learners across the country.
Crush is about goodness. The brand stands for goodness from what we put in. So we wanted to extend what you put into the brand externally as well by doing something good and spreading positivity. We want people to not only see what we're doing from a goodness perspective, but when they do something good within their communities, to remember to always use the hashtag Crush Goodness for everything good that they do will essentially make the message stand out within the markets and in the environments out there.
For songstress Lyra, there was no question that she'd be part of the celebration at her old primary school and hand out new pairs of Smart Steps by Innovator shoes.
I went to school here many years ago and I haven't been back here since then. And so I wanted to use this opportunity to not only remind them that it doesn't matter where you come from, it doesn't determine where you end up. And also a gesture like this, I think, will be very uplifting for these children. And of course, with Crush coming along and spoiling the kids with little goodies, it really means a lot to the children in the long run. So it might be something that we're doing for one day, but it'll be far more reaching. Even when I went to school, there were children that would go with shoes with holes in them, and you still have that now. So sometimes your old school's shoes that you outgrow, that are still in good condition, could really make a very tangible difference to someone. A small gesture of goodness can really go a long way.
These shoes are from last year. I used it from term 1 to term 4, and last time my friends were laughing at me that my shoes, they were old. When I heard that there is new shoes coming, I feel happy.
Having someone like Lyra join the Crush Goodness crew and being part of the campaign adds to the aspiration, essentially, to the community as well as to the school. It also gives a lot of hope to the children because she came from this environment and look at where she is now. So it gives a stronger drive to the campaign, but also inspires the children within the school to essentially work harder and make a difference within your own environment as well.
Our learners were very much excited when they heard that Lyra will be coming, because we even informed them that Lyra was once our learner. Then I also hope that it gave them an inspiration to say the sky will be their limit.
I felt very happy to see Lyra, because I only see her in the TV when she is singing. And she's not ashamed of her school. And she came back to her school and to show us that she was from our school.
Because Crush is 100% fruit juice and it has added vitamins, that made it align with my values. Nutrition is also a very important part of coming up as a young student. So when the kids are well fed and they're fed with good nutrition, of course they can thrive and they can focus and they can do their best.
This school is one of 12 identified across 5 provinces to receive new school shoes, and this simple item of footwear has a huge positive impact on the learners' well-being.
The gift that we received is going to enhance their learning and give them their self-esteem, so that they can all be at the same level. So we are very much excited to have this kind of a gift, particularly for our learners.
I'm spreading goodness at home by helping my mother doing things at home, and at school I listen to my teachers when they teach me.
It's about inspiring someone to make a difference within their community, and remembering to always hashtag Crush Goodness when you spread a little goodness in your own environment.
Oh man, it's awesomely heartwarming to see what people are doing. So if you are feeling inspired today, perhaps you've had a long day, I want to share your thoughts on our social media platforms, please go ahead. That's the whole point of being live on SABC3. Use the hashtag Afternoon Express. Find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We love engaging with you now, during the show as well as afterwards as well. After the break, we're back with our two featured fashion designers, Balini Naidoo and Celeste Arendse. So stay right where you are. More fashion after these.
Crush, your daily dose of goodness. Now also available in long life.
Made with love by Clover.
Express yourself.
This week, feel the goodness on Afternoon Express with Clover Crush. It's often the little things that have the biggest impact, and Clover Crush is spreading goodness by donating school shoes to 10,000 learners across South Africa in partnership with Smart Steps Shoes. Discover some of the beneficiary schools and meet the famous faces who'll be spreading positivity with Clover Crush. Watch Afternoon Express weekdays at 4:30 p.m. on SABC3. The stage is yours.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. We're live on SABC3 with our two fashion phenomenons on the show. Balini and Celeste are back with us at the table. So the fashion industry obviously has been, in South Africa, is a huge focus. Everyone's very excited about what's going on in South Africa. They really, all the fashion weeks that gets world attention. Are we really in a position at the moment where it is genuinely growing, or does that feel like a bit of sort of a contrived notion?
I do think it's still a bit contrived. I think a lot of internationals are talking about Africa and Africa's being focused on, but are they really buying the products? And that's the question. I think it's like enough to have people featured on these great publications, but are the designers actually, you know, getting more orders? Yeah. Are they actually being placed in those big stores? And I think, yeah, it's not enough to just be featured. It really is about people buying the products.
Absolutely.
And that is the issue.
Absolutely. And it's definitely a huge issue because you think, well, if Africa is being appreciated right now for what it is and what it has to offer, is it at a level of appropriation or is it a real consumption?
Yeah.
So then two questions. Why don't South African designers lower their prices? And two, why are the retailers not, like, why is there no some kind of like legislation put in place for them to be able to afford this stuff? Because I hate celebrating designers who I always feel like all the celebrities are wearing your clothes, but they're not buying your clothes. And I want to see more consumers buying South African products. So is there a way to lower the cost, or is that not even appropriate? I don't even know what.
It's not even appropriate, right?
It's not even about lowering the cost because the costs are already competitive.
But the reason why the big retailers are making the money is because...
Not necessarily. I don't think it's got to do with price, because if you look at like luxury brands, it's literally like a Gucci bag is like, a Louis
Crazy,
Vuitton bag
yeah.
is like, it starts at 15,000 Rand.
That's crazy, yeah.
Where South African like designer prices, the highest will be 2,000 Rand, which
And the
is
product
still...
is so good.
And it's good product. So I don't think it's about price necessarily. I think it's just about, I think, loyalty, where South Africans should maybe like really just look at the two things in front of them and what they really want to be represented by.
What stories they want to tell.
Exactly. And do you want to
Absolutely.
associate yourself with just going to H&M, buying something from H&M and knowing the history of it, or buy into something local and you know it's actually coming back to you because you're feeding into your economy. So it's really about how you as a person want to identify yourself and how you want to curate your life and with the things around you, with the food you eat, with the furniture you buy, like that's
Everything's
how you...
a statement.
Exactly,
everything.
you know?
So, yeah, and Balini, you're showing at the Design in Durban.
Yes, I am.
So what are you looking forward to, and what have been some of the reactions so far? Because it did begin yesterday, if I understand.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
I think people were really amazed about my concept, and the feedback was really great, the support, and I think Design in Durban is a great platform for getting my work out there. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
And what's so beautiful about Balini's story is, obviously, if you guys missed the show earlier on, she creates products with Braille, and then so people who are visually impaired can buy products, learn more about them just by purely feeling the fabric. And it's the first time it's ever been done in the world. And I'm really excited to see that happening, because Celeste, you hit the nail on the head. That's the answer I was looking for, which is telling a story with the stuff you're purchasing.
Yeah.
Would you be considered like trying to find ways to incorporate Braille into your labels if you could?
I actually, like, when I heard she was going to be in the show, I was like, that'll be such a cool thing to like try and incorporate. And like, yeah, it's definitely something that I think is really important. And fashion can't just be something that's just like aesthetically appreciated all the time. Like, it has to just like start feeding into like really helping the community and helping our lives
legacy,
get better.
Right?
Yeah.
You put it so aptly earlier, Balini. You said if you create something for yourself, it dies with you.
Yeah.
But if you create something, am I right,
others,
for others, it lives on forever. So it really just is about legacy. And what do you think are some of the ways that South Africans can build organizations that actually support that? Because I mean, I look at a design like yours, and I think that's absolutely incredible. But I'm sure so much funding had to go in there initially to make your prototypes, to make your samples. And people need a lot of support in that direction.
Yes, they do. A lot of support a lot of work, time, and effort goes into understanding the needs of people and finding the gap and understanding their daily struggles and putting yourself in the shoes of a visually impaired. I mean, we take so much for granted. I mean, we can see, we just don't. Unless you put yourself in that shoes, then only you
realize
know.
the crisis, yeah.
Yes,
And imagine closing your eyes and walking over to a rail and someone saying to you, tell me what color this product is, you know, what it goes with. You would never know. And for young designers, what I love about the two of you is that you're both powerful women in the space doing something really, really amazing. And young girls who want to break into the space, boys, whoever wants to break into the world of fashion, looking at filling those gaps, finding the niches. Where are we missing? Where are the gaps in the market at the moment? Where can youngsters look at investing their time and energy into the world of fashion?
I think like with what she's doing is really great. It's really like, I think so much has been done that like you have so many of the same thing in your wardrobe, and really it is about the story that you're going to be telling. So really look at your environment and like, where is there a need, and then let that be your anchor almost, or your platform where you start from. So it's about, I suppose, getting your narrative right before you create anything, because there's so much stuff that's been created out there, and like the world's like oversaturated with stuff and information, and
So a very interesting phenomenon about fashion for me is always the idea, or I always think, well, you know, the world doesn't need another fashion brand, but the world wants to hear your story. So the way people manifest their own ideas and their own narratives and how they want to contribute to the world is always new, and that always fascinates me.
And it's about upliftment as well. Definitely.
We're going to see a world that's going to grow more and more. Like, consumers are consuming lots of stuff, so many things. Eventually now we're coming back to that route where it's coming all the way back towards individualized stuff. I'd rather buy something bespoke and made by South Africans because I want to celebrate South Africans. And you guys are filling such a great market out that side. So sure, we really do salute the work that you guys are doing. Would you encourage youngsters to get involved in the world of fashion? Is it so cutthroat and hectic that it's just like, whew, go find a day job, or is it like, guys, it is so worth it because we're changing the world?
It is hectic, but if you love something, you would push. You would push to make to be the perfect person, and fashion is not easy. I'm sure you can relate.
Yeah.
Studying fashion, I mean, your first year you want to drop out, but yeah, that's how I felt. I'm sure you did too.
Yeah, I think like as a South African, I think it's important because there's very few designers that are doing great things, and it's like we need to push ourselves as South Africans to really like define the country and like we want to live in. Like we can't just like be looking at these international designer stuff. We need to become the people they want to look at, you know, like so I think it's about like you should do it to like make your mark and like so that we can push ourselves further like as a country like and be recognized like so
and not like you want to be a fashion designer to copy other international things, being unique and finding your niche as a fashion designer.
That's a great way to wrap up the show. There's some great advice there for young designers. I guess we'll see you again tomorrow, same time, same place on SABC3. Good night and happy eating.
Afternoon Express, made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.